Utilitarian Deontology. Alright, tell me you guys already know, so I know what to exclude on this lecture. So, raise your hand if you can explain to me what the difference between act and rule utilitarianism is. Okay. Raise your hand if you can tell me what an act or mission distinction is versus an intention foresight distinction. Okay. Raise your hand if you can tell me the difference between a theory of right and a theory of the good. Okay. So, you guys did not go to the introductory ethical theories elective, which was pretty after this one. That's alright. We will change plans a little bit. So, what I want to do, okay, is talk for a second, very, very briefly, about the difference between a theory of right and a theory of good. So someone who does know what that means, describe it to me. Go ahead.
So the theory of like right is so like the criteria would be like maximize lives saved, right? So lives saved would be the good thing. The right would be like maximize.
Good. So in maximizing life, the good is lives and the right is maximizing. So the good is just what it is we value, and the right is how we go about valuing it. Does that make sense? So utilitarianism says we maximize happiness or maximize pleasure. So the theory of right for utilitarianism is maximize. The theory of good is happiness or pleasure. The theory of right for deontology, right, is treating and respecting as ends, and the theory of good is humans. Okay? When you treat humans as ends in themselves, we can't use humans as means to an end. Does that make sense? So, let's see the concrete distinction between util and deon. Alright? Namely, what I call the trolley problem. So we got a trolley, right, which looks kind of boxy. It actually kind of looks like a car, but that's okay. And it's a long track. And the track can diverge here, right, with one person standing. And here there are 5 people standing. Okay? Wow, this must be really bad. I'll just describe the scenario, alright? And you're standing here, and you can redirect the trolley so it doesn't hit the 5 and instead hits the 1. What does utilitarianism say you do? Yeah. Kill the 5, right? And that makes perfect sense. Wait, kill the 5?
Wait, no, the other way around. Yeah,
Right.
So the 1.
You would divert the trolley and kill the 1. Right? And that makes perfect sense because you want the 5 to live because that is a great amount of good. Okay? Now what does the deontologist say? Yeah.
That you shouldn't divert the trolley because like that's the action of like not killing somebody, but like it's your fault basically.
Okay, good. This is a really, really common articulation debate. That deontology is about not actively killing people, and diverting the trolley would be an action and is therefore morally wrong. Okay? Incidentally, it's also wrong. That is not what deontologists actually think. It's how debaters articulate deontology and round all the time, but it's a lie. Right? Real deontologists don't care about the act or mission distinction at all. They don't think it means anything. Right? Because there's all sorts of things that you could omit to do, which nevertheless have the same moral character as an action. So imagine 2 people, right? One person's like, you know, I really want to kill this person because I'm going to inherit their fortune. The other person says, you know, I really want to kill this person because I'm going to inherit their fortune. And so both walk up, right, to smother them in the night, okay, while they're asleep. And one goes and smothers the person and kills them. And the other comes up and sees the person's already choking. And he's like, this is great. So he just sits there and lets them die. Who here thinks that the person who actually smothered was worse than the person who was going to smother but then just let die? Anyone? You think that they're worse? Why?
Because they like actively killed the person? Like just in general like
Both did actions that result in the person dying.
yeah.
Right? Why was one worse than the other?
You like treat him as a means to an end.
Well, both did. Both let him die so they could get this good thing.
One like was passively like letting him die, the other one like actively.
Right, and what difference does it make if it's passive or active? What is the reason that would matter?
Like when you actively do something, when you're actively doing I don't really know like the major distinction besides like the definition of active and passive.
Okay, but why would that distinction make any moral difference at all? Right, is the question. Why would it make any moral difference if you act rather than allow or omit to act? Yeah.
So, like, we can correctly identify intent with actions, but not necessarily with inactions, I suppose?
You can correctly identify intent.
Like, I suppose if, like, I shot someone with a gun, like, that I want to kill that person.
You can do it 100% of the time?
I'd probably say so, like,
Okay, so imagine you're out in the woods, okay? And you see someone wearing like antlers, because they were just at a moose convention, right? And they got these big moose antlers. And you're like, haha, I'll finally get my moose for dinner. And you take a shot and hit the person. Were you trying to hit a human?
I suppose not specifically a human.
Okay, and you think it's morally wrong to try to kill an elk?
Depends, I suppose. I mean, I don't have,
Are you a vegetarian?
no. I think it's fine.
Okay.
Personally.
I'm a vegetarian, so I might have been able to say otherwise, but if you're not going to do that, right? So it seems there that, no, it's not true, right?
Yeah.
You can be mistaken. And, right, I could have been not trying to smother the person with a pillow, but just trying to, they have a fever or whatever, and I'm just trying to wipe away the sweat or something, right, and actually smother them. And with this person, right, if they were just sitting there cackling, the money, I'm going to get the money, you'd be pretty sure they're letting them die to get the money. Right? It'd be easier to tell the intent in that situation, perhaps. So it can't be that, right? Because then it would just be like, whichever one you can easily determine the intent. It wouldn't be an acquisition distinction, it'd just be an intent versus you can't tell distinction. What's another problem with that explanation? Yeah.
Causality. So like actions cause, like you smothering that person in the night was a result of you taking that action. Whereas whether you had been there or not, the person choking, your being there didn't constitute that, like wasn't the reason that the person was choking.
Okay. So this sort of counterfactuality concern, right? That if things had been different, the person would not then have died. Okay? But it seems like there are instances when counterfactually my existence causes someone to die, and nevertheless I don't kill them. Right? So let's take this example. Suppose I'm on a desert island and I come across a cow. Just there. Right? And I eat the cow so I can survive. And then I walk off. And then later someone else comes by and sees the cow carcass, but there's no meat left and dies of hunger. If I had not been there when the person died, then was I then morally responsible for killing them? Because had I not been there, they would not have died. No. So that's not an explanation. Right? Someone else want to try? Come on, this is fun. Right? And the more you do this, the more examples you get to when people run this against you. You're like, what's the difference? Right? And they'll pose these things, you're like, well, what about this? And they'll be like, oh no. You know what you're talking about. I should have read those things Marshall told me to read, so I know what I was talking about. And they'll lose. Come on. What's another thing a debater might say? What's another thing your opponent might disagree with? What's the distinction between acting and omitting to act? Yeah.
Well, like another thing with a trolley, I heard this example last year, like somebody's standing on a bridge next to like one other person who is like very heavy, and if you push that person down, it'll like stop the train and not let them hit like the other people. Like, do you push the person down?
Okay,
Or
good.
not? Is that, like,
So this is going to get at what I call the intention foresight distinction. Okay? Now, the intention foresight distinction works like this. Let's take the following example. Who here knows the example of the tail bomber versus the strategic bomber? You guys do, right? Good. So, here's the story. What's a good name for a strategic bomber? Right? Like the name of a guy who's like an Air Force pilot.
Joseph. Joseph, the Air Force pilot.
Okay. We'll call him Joseph Theodore. Okay? Joseph Theodore is an Air Force pilot, right? And he is told, listen, son, this war is grueling. It's going to cost us lives. It's going to cost them lives. Our best estimate indicates this continues. There's going to be about 1 million people who die before this war is out. But you can stop it. You can just stop it, Joseph Theodore. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
You can stop it, Joseph Theodore. There is this munitions factory. Okay? And in this munitions factory is where they produce all of their weapons. And if you can destroy this factory, they won't be able to wage war. The war will be over and we'll save 1 million lives. And Joseph Theodore was like, great. I'll go bomb it. But you need to know this. There are 2,000 innocent people that work in that factory. There are 2,000 individuals who are totally innocent. They don't even make weapons, right? Because this is not only a weapons factory, it's also a teddy bear factory. And there are 2,000 people there who just make teddy bears all day. Nevertheless, we need you to fly and kill them. And the war ends. And so Joseph Theodore is like, okay, I'll do it. He goes in, he bombs it, he comes home, he turns on the TV. That's the first scenario. And the second scenario The guy comes up to Joseph and says, Joseph, I have a difficult question to ask you. Are you willing to do what's right for your country? He says, yes, absolutely. All right. The war is going to last for so long we can't stop it now. All the evidence indicates that their enemies just making a decision. They're going to fight for the long haul or give up now. We need something to tip the balance. But the only thing that will happen is we can scare the citizenry. We need to kill about 2,000 civilians in a terror bombing strike so that they give up this war. And if we do that, we'll actually save 1 million lives, including innocent civilians on their side. Will you do it? He says, yes. And he flies in, and he sees a town, right? And he bombs the town of population 2,000 and flies home and turns on the TV. Who here thinks these scenarios are the same, morally? Both situations, the pilot goes in, kills 2,000 people, and then ends the war and saves 1 million lives. Yeah, right? Seems super intuitive, right? You kill 2,000 people, you save 1 million lives. Who here would do it? Both. Who'd be willing to do both? Who would not be willing to do either? Is that because you can't fly a plane or because you're cold?
Well, I guess that's like part of it, but I mean, no, I don't. What I mean, I guess I'm a pacifist and like I don't like war and things like that, but I focus more.
Well, you're stopping the war.
Yeah, at the same time, you're still. It's like the whole issue that people have with like non-stopping things like that. Like
With what?
With like when we dropped the atomic bomb in Japan, like it's we killed like millions of civilians, but at the same time like we ended a war. And so it's like the whole idea of what like I focus on the rightness or wrongness of the actions themselves rather than like saving more people.
Right, but you can't say, I'm trying to analyze if the action's right or wrong. When we're trying to decide is the action right or wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like, is this the right action? You can't be like, well, I really focus on if the action's right or wrong to decide that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not quite an explanation you want yet. What do you think?
I probably wouldn't because there's no guarantee that that would actually end the war.
So you're concerned with like probability?
Right.
So what if instead of saving 1 million lives, it was going to save 100 million lives?
Well, it's like, okay, so like when we dropped the atomic bomb, we said, okay, this is going to end the war, but the war didn't end immediately afterwards, so we don't even know if that was like an accurate util measurement.
Sure, but we can be pretty certain. Alright.
But then, like, I don't know.
Do you not make probability judgments in your day-to-day life? Were you certain this was going to be a good camp when you came?
No,
Were you certain it was going to be worthwhile?
no,
So why'd you come?
because it was likely going to be.
Yeah. So why is it you can do that action because it's likely you can't do this action because
Because
it's like
the consequences are bigger.
because the benefits are bigger too. There you spend like $2,000 to come to this camp to learn and get these good things, right? Here you might risk killing 2,000 people, but the benefits are not you learn things at debate camp. It's you save 1 million lives, or 10 million lives, or 100 million lives. It's proportional. You made a calculation here because it was not too big a loss, just some money, right? But still a good amount, and a benefit to become a better debate. And here it's some lives, not too many, but some, and saving a huge number.
Alright.
Alright, so now let's continue the stories, okay? The first, Joseph Theodore, turns on the news, and here's the newscaster come on. In a surprise turn of events, the war has been ended by Joseph Theodore, who successfully bombed the munitions factory, ending the enemy's ability to commit war. They then sued for peace about 20 minutes afterwards. Yes, peace! And then the newscaster comes on and says, and even a more surprising turn of events, all 2,000 innocent teddy bear factory employees were homesick that day, having independently contracted the flu. What's Joseph Theodore's response going to be? Yes! No one died! That's amazing! Right? I just saved 1 million lives and didn't kill any teddy bear makers. Right?
What are like the people who like worked in like the ammunition factory there, or were they?
That was all robots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, obviously. No, come on. Humans don't get questions anymore. But good question. Alright. We have to suspend our credulity somewhat with these examples. Alright? Does that make sense? So that's going to be the action. Now let's say, before the other Joseph lands, okay, watching his on the TV and it says, in a surprise course of events, Joseph bombs, right, a civilian city, destroying and leveraging the town. However, in a shocking course of events, all 2,000 occupants of that town happened to be away on vacation, and no one was injured. What's his reaction going to be? Great. I didn't accomplish my purpose. I needed them to die so they would give up on the war. Right? Luckily, I popped my plane out back. Hang on, I'll be back for dinner. Right? And he's going to be back in his plane and try to find 2,000 more civilians. Does that make sense? You guys see that? Right? Because the enemy's only going to give up on war if 2,000 of them die, and he hasn't killed 2,000 of them. Okay? So here, in the first case, the deaths were not intentional. They were not wanted. They were not part of my moral calculation. If the deaths did not occur, I'd be like, yes, this is amazing. Right? No one had to die. But in the second case, if the deaths did not occur, I'm like, great. Now I didn't get what I needed. Right? I need them to die in order to accomplish my purpose. Anyone unclear about that? Distinction. Yeah.
So in the second one, like, why is it in that situation that the killing of the 2,000 had to constitute saving? Like, if he blew up the ammunition factory without the teddy bear employees there, then wouldn't that still have stopped them from having munitions?
The second one's a terror bomb. He's back bombing a town to kill 2,000 people.
Oh.
So they give up the war.
Oh, okay, now I get you. All right. Okay.
Does that distinction make sense then? So do you guys see a sort of moral difference between those two events? Like how they strike us as different? Because one of them doesn't want the people, he doesn't need people to die. He's not oriented towards their death, right? He doesn't have to change his behavior if like he was flying in and he's like, oh look, they're all running away, I better go bomb that different place. Right? Their behavior and actions doesn't change his behavior and actions at all. Right? But in the case, it does change the tail bombers, but in the case of the factory bomber, if he came in and saw them all running away, he'd be like, yes, they're gonna survive. He doesn't have to orient himself. He doesn't have to direct himself to their death. He just directs himself to his goal, which might result from them dying, but hopefully not. Right? And so he can almost wish that they live. Well, the terror bomber can't do that. The terror bomber can't wish they live because he has to try to kill them. Does that make sense? He needs them to die to accomplish his purpose. So this creates what the deontologist is actually talking about. Right? The notion of intended versus foreseen harms. And it's not the act of omission distinction. Because when we tried to give the difference between acting and omitting, we found that we weren't able to give a good moral explanation. Any example I gave kind of deal with it. But this is a much more robust moral distinction. It's in between them needing to die to accomplish my purpose and recognizing they will die if I take this action. Does that make sense? Any questions about that? Or how this example works? Yeah.
So it's like, is that something like the difference between like the intent, is there like the difference in like what it's called, or is it just like the overall like moral theory?
Yeah, so real deontologists operate according to what's called the doctrine of double effect, right? Which is the intention foresight distinction. So that's what most real deontologists will defend. Deontology uses an act of omission, intention foresight, not an act of omission distinction. The intention foresight distinction, or the doctrine of double effect, if you want to look up its technical term. Now, let's go back to this scenario. The utilitarian will redirect the trolley so it kills one person, right? Make sense? Will the deontologist redirect the trolley so it kills one person? Raise your hand if you think yes.
Wait, so it's going at the 5 people?
It's going after 5 people, but you can redirect it so it goes to the 1.
No.
Who here says that the deontologist will say that that's okay? Who here says the deontologist will say that's not okay? Okay, why is it not okay?
Because the person who's moving the lever so that it would hit the 5 people, they're using the 5 people as a mean. They're using the 1 person as a means to save the 5. They're taking their life because if they don't take that 1 person's life, the 5 are. If they don't pull the lever, the 5 are going there.
So they need that person to die to accomplish the purpose.
Well, the 1 person could get free. Like, yes, they could break themselves free. So no, the 1 person doesn't have to die. But
Okay. So I don't need the person to be harmed, right? So is it intentional or not? Is this like the terror bomber or is this like the strategic bomber? Is it like bombing the factory, where I know people will die but don't want them to? Or is it like the terror bomber where I know that they need to get hit for me to accomplish my purpose?
Well, would it not be the deontologist's point of view to know what kind of people they are?
Hmm?
Or is that like it doesn't matter as well?
I don't know why that would matter.
It doesn't matter, like, what kind of person they are, as in, like, I would rather kill 3 people who don't matter in society if it was the president that's on the...
No, deontologists would say that is utterly irrelevant. Right?
Okay, that's fine.
Like, everyone's life matters equally to the deontologist. Yes.
Is there any, concern of what the status quo is for the deontologist to be basis?
Say it again.
The status quo, does that matter?
No. So what do we think? Is this like the tail bomber or the strategic bomber? Do you see why? Because if I were to redirect the trolley, he's like, there's a trolley coming at me, he runs out of the way. Okay? I'll be like, yes, he didn't die, no one died. Right? I don't need him to be hit. Make sense? Now let's change the scenario slightly. And let's say I'm standing here on top of a big bridge. Okay? Yeah?
Wait, so does that mean that it's not, wait, that it's utilitarianism versus deontology with those two bombers also? Like,
So the utilitarian would say both actions are okay. The deontologist would say only the strategic bomber was okay, but not the terror bomber.
Wait, what is the strategic one? Like the one with
The factory.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So the utilitarian says both bombers are doing something morally good because they save more lives. The deontologist says that only the strategic bomber is something good because they didn't intend them to die. The terror bomber is intentionally killing people in a way that's bad. Okay? Does that make sense? Are we clear? Good. So now, let's change the scenario. What if, rather than having to direct the trolley towards this one, I instead was on top of a bridge. Okay? And on this bridge with me was this very, very fat man. Okay? Like, quite plump. Okay? I'm like, oh no! The trolley's barreling towards these 5 people who are tied down to the track. And the only thing I can do is I can push the fat man in front of the trolley off the bridge, so he gets hit, stopping the trolley, saving the 5. Does the deontologist say you can push the fat man off the bridge? Raise your hand if you think the deontologist is okay with that. Raise your hand if you think the utilitarian is okay with that. Good. Who can explain why this scenario is different than this one? In most situations, I take an action, I push something, right? The fat man dies, the individual dies, and we save 5. Yep.
He's actively killing the person for the sole purpose of using the means as the man.
What do you mean actively killing them? Aren't I actively killing both?
No, because in the other one you're doing an action that leads to that, whereas in this one you're actively using the person as the action.
Well, if that part, like, you don't, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think a small distinction would be if you push the fat man, then like you're actively killing them, but then for like this trolley one that you got stuck out there, so like let's say there on one track there was no 3 people, then there's no way you would kill the other person. So like you're not. So it's kind of like that example of like whether or not you should leave someone choking to death, or whether you should be the one who goes to choke them to death. Like you know how you said this smuggling or something about those people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those are the same.
So wouldn't it be kind of the same as that first one with the Batman?
Why?
Because you're not at, because like, I don't know, I think I'm starting to confuse myself.
Okay.
Would it be like more concerned with like the act of you using the Batman as a means to achieve like your plan or your purpose? You're not really about like if you're actively killing anybody.
So why am I actually using this man and not the other one? Yeah.
So like, I guess you could say it's a distinction of foresight, or like it's a foresight case because you need that man to die to save the others.
Which man?
The fat man.
Okay, but do I need this guy to die in order for him to live?
No.
You just need the trolley to be returned.
Good. Okay. So here, let's say I push the fat man, and he bounced, right? He's like, huh, I'm fine. He runs out of the way. What is he going to do?
Yay.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
wait,
he's supposed to stop the train. Like, you need him to die to
Right.
stop the train.
You're like, ah,
So you're the
I have to
terror
chase
bomber.
another fat man. You start chasing him, push him over, and roll him back in front.
So you're the terror bomber, and that's
Wait,
what
why
you
did you have to
push
use a
the
man?
fat
Can't you
off.
just find like a snog or something?
No, you need a man.
Right. We're suspending credulity.
But what if the man falls and he like stops the train, but for some reason doesn't die? Like,
Wait, what?
Well, like,
Okay.
how
We'll
is
get to that in a
that
second.
possible? Oh, okay, like.
We'll get to that in a second. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, right here, you need the fat man to be hit in order to stop the trolley. Here, you don't need this person to be hit in order to stop the trolley. Right? You just redirect it, but if that person moves out of the way, you're like, yes! But if you push the fat man and he moves out of the way, it's like, shoot. That didn't work. Does that make sense? How the fat man not being hit frustrates your purpose. Okay? So you need him to die in order to accomplish your purpose. It's an instrument for you. It is a tool. Right? If you think through the action, you need that to occur in order to be able to accomplish what you want. Yeah.
So in this situation with the bridge and that baby on the bridge, oh wait, there's no lever.
I mean, they could be. Like, you can imagine a situation where the fat man's standing over a trap door. And so I pull the lever, release the trap door, and he falls.
So, but like, there's no lever to like redirect it.
No. So now, case, it's just the one guy standing there. Right? Or the girl standing there, I don't know. Right? It's going towards the 3. And this man's standing here. But this is a really weird train track because it's on a loop. It comes back around.
But when like the three, are we gonna say that the 3 people are still there?
Hmm?
Or like,
Right. So now, you can redirect the trolley and it'll hit this person, and now he'll stop the trolley. Right? So you can redirect the trolley and hit him, right? Or you can let it go through and hit these 3. Does the deontologist say you can redirect the trolley? Raise your hand if you think no. Raise your hand if you think yes.
wait, but if you redirect it, you kill the 3? Or if you redirect it?
If it goes, it'll kill the 3.
Okay,
If you pull the lever, it will redirect it towards the 1.
okay.
Who again thinks the deontologist says you can kill him? Kill the 1 person. Who again think? Why?
You're still not actively using that person. It's just by consequence that they happen to be on the track.
Okay. So I'm redirecting the trolley.
Could it also be intent because if, say, somehow kill like the 1 person that was on the tracks was really fat and stops, then the 3 other people would be saved and you could go yay?
Sorry, say it again.
Okay, so like, if you were to redirect it, kill the 1, and like, you inevitably know that you'll probably end up killing the 3, but in the situation where the 1 man somehow stops the trolley when he's run over,
So
then...
the trolleys, when they hit someone, stop.
It won't stop?
It will.
It will?
Yeah.
What's the purpose of the loop?
Then it would stop after.
So it's like whether or
That's
not.
the question. What is the purpose of the loop? Is this case the same, right, as this one? Why not? What does the loop change?
So like you need the person to now get hit, like the fat man scenario. So you're using him as a tool to like keep the 3, like using utility factor so you can do that.
So if I redirect the train, and then this person's like, ah, trolley walks off the track, what's going to happen? Then the trolley's going to loop around and kill the 3. Does that make sense? People see that? So now I suddenly need this person again. Before, since the trolley just went off and wouldn't hit the people afterwards, if he didn't get hit, it'd be great. Right? But, when it loops back around, I need this person to be hit in order for it to be able to stop the trolley, because otherwise it'll still kill the 3 people. Yeah,
So what would the deontologist do?
that's what I'm asking. Raise your hand if the deontologist say redirect the train. Raise your hand if the deontologist say you can't redirect the train. Exactly. Right? Because now this person is instrumentally necessary to accomplish your purpose. Right? You're not just redirecting the trolley anymore. Now you're trying to hit that person to stop the train before it hits the 3 people. Does that make sense? Good. Now suppose you're standing pretty close, and so if you redirect the trolley, you can get there in time to untie them before it gets all the way back around. Or it can hit this person to kill them, okay, thereby stopping the trolley. So either he'll get hit and stop the trolley, or he'll get out of the way and you can untie the 3 before it gets there. Now, can you redirect the little trolley in the loop case? What do people think? Can you redirect the trolley? Raise your hand if you think yes. Raise your hand if you think no. Why not?
Aren't you still using him in order to save 3 people? Just not necessarily using his,
Do I need him to die for 3 people to survive?
no, but
No.
you would use something, or no, did it have to go to death? Like, but don't
What do I mean I need to do something?
like, you still need something, like, if he runs off the tracks, the plan wouldn't, like, work.
Why not?
Because he has to untie them, otherwise.
No, I untie them.
Okay, never, I thought he was.
I thought he was gonna go untie them.
No. So I had time to go and untie them, right? If he walks out of the way. So now is it okay to redirect the trolley in the loop case? Yes. Right? Does that make sense? Because now all I'm doing is I'm buying myself time to untie them. I don't need him to be hit anymore. I don't need her to be hit anymore. I don't need the person on the trolley tracks to be hit to accomplish my purpose. Got it? This is a lot of complicated examples, which I'm trying to get you to see the core idea, right? Which is instrumentality, right? Is the person an instrument to the accomplishment of my purposes? Do I need them, require them for my purpose to be achieved, to be hit? Okay? People get that idea of intentionality. Is anyone still confused about what it means for the action to be intentional? Okay. Because debate is all the time like, how do we know what your intention is? Right? Like, we can't see inside your brain. That's not the point. The point is not about some sort of phenomenal introspective state, but instead the logical necessities for the practical reason to accomplish the purpose that person set out. So given what they're trying to do, Does that person need to be in the scenario to accomplish that purpose? If so, then using them as a means to an end. Okay? Now, you brought up a very, very good point, right? Which is, what if I pushed the fat man off, but didn't want him to die? Like, if he got hit and stopped the trolley and was fine, I'd be like, yes! Awesome! He didn't have to die. Right? So I don't need him to be hit. Oh, I need him to be hit, but I don't need him to die. I don't need him to be killed. Right? Does that now make it okay to push the fat man off, since I don't intend any harm to come to that person? Yes or no?
No,
Why not?
Because
you're still using him to accomplish your task as a means to end, maybe
Good.
not using his life.
Good. So I'm still intending that that person die, right? I'm not die. I'm still intending them to be a means to my purposes. I still manipulate them absent their consent. Okay? So it's not that I intentionally do something bad to them when I kill them, or intentionally harm them, or intentionally cause them pain. Intentionally, I intentionally use them as an instrument, as a tool to accomplish the purposes I set out to accomplish. That is what deontologists care about. If they intentionally use them as a tool. It's not about you can't kill one to save more. It's about if that person's death is instrumental to you accomplishing your purpose. So when you sit there by the bed watching the person choke to death, right, you are allowing them to die so you get the inheritance. You are using them as a means to an end. Does that make sense? So those two examples of the act and the omission are identical when you smother the person and let them choke to death. In most situations, you are using them as a means to accomplish your purpose. That's what deontology gets at. It's not an act and omission distinction. It's an intention foresight distinction. And people see why this is a lot more robust than what we talk about with the act and omission distinction. Right? It makes more sense, right? So debaters will often say like, oh, it's about act and omissions, and you can really answer the claim effectively and be like, no, act and omission distinction doesn't make any sense at all. Cool. So, yeah.
So like, what exactly is the like act and omission distinction? What is like the distinction between that and like and
so the act and omission distinction says the difference between acting and omitting. So choosing to do something actively versus just passively letting something happen. Okay? So, it's the difference between, killing someone and letting someone die. Right? The intention foresight distinction talks about the difference between instrumentality and if the use of another person is instrumentally necessary to accomplish the purpose that you set out. Right? Make sense? Anyone confused about that? This is critically important. Something debaters always misunderstand about util and deon. They always talk about this act or mission distinction. People will just by util being like, util is true because there's no act or mission distinction. And I'm always like, yeah, but deontology doesn't think there's an act or mission distinction. It's not a very good argument. Does that make sense? Like, how you could use this to problematize those sorts of arguments? No question about that? Alright, now let's turn to utilitarianism for a little while. Okay? Utilitarianism says that you could kill that one person and save more. You could push the fat man off the bridge. You could be the terror bomber to save more people's lives. Right? Why? Right? Why can you do that? Yeah.
Because you're looking to benefit the greater, the most amount of people.
Yeah, they're trying to help the greater good. And more people will survive in that context. Okay? Now, what I want to first talk about is the difference between act utilitarianism and rule utilitarianism. Who can define what that distinction is for me? Go ahead.
Act utilitarianism is we're considering that each individual act and how much happiness it produces, while rule utilitarianism is about how like all the rules are going by, the rules are going to lead to happiness. Like constantly following the same rule will eventually lead to happiness, whereas with act it's more of like you have to decide whether or not to do it based on happiness.
Okay, that's pretty close.
yeah, so rule is like establishing certain rules that for the most part like increase the overall happiness, and act like every single situation you like have to look at it calculus before you do the action.
Yeah, you want to say something?
I would also like to add to that is the rule utilitarianism is also not just like the same action, but even if the action doesn't yield positive consequences, like every single time, you still go through with that action because of the usual consequences.
Good. So, let's take an example, right? Does the utilitarian think it's okay for me to lie, right, in order to not hurt someone's feelings?
So
In order to not hurt someone's feelings? Can I lie to not hurt someone's feelings, according to utilitarianism? Raise your hand if you think yes. Raise your hand if you think no. Raise your hand if you're like, Marshall, you're trying to trick us by not saying act or rule before util. Alright, I was. Okay? So, does the act utilitarian say you can lie in order to stop from hurting someone's feelings? Raise your hand if you think yes. Raise anything no. It's gotta be one or the other.
I know, I'm a little, okay, what act, is it like, are you making a decision like?
Unique
based
action if it does the greatest good.
on- Okay, so whichever act.
So can I lie in order to stop hurting someone's feelings?
So you're determining whether or not, whichever one is maximizing happiness?
Right.
Okay,
So what can I do?
I guess it's, I think that it's okay. I'm the first one. Like, I think it's okay to lie.
Okay. Good. Right. So the action of says you can lie, you can break a promise if it leads to more good. Right. Now, according to rule utilitarianism, can you lie in order to spare someone's feelings? Raising anything, yes. Raising anything, no. Good. Who can explain why? Go for it.
Because lying, like, it's, I guess, since she said it was about rules and like following things to
Yeah.
get happiness, like, lying isn't like a moral thing that you should do. It doesn't go, it goes against like the ideas of what's right. And
So why isn't it a moral thing to do?
because you're hiding the truth, and the truth is like the most relevant thing.
Why does utilitarian care be hiding the truth? Yeah, go ahead.
As a rule, lying to people doesn't usually yield something that's positive. And it can actually cause a lot of problems. So if you follow a rule of you know that, no, lying is not the best thing to do. But in act utilitarianism, depending on which situation you're able to assess it and assess the specific scenario of how it's going to turn out.
Right. So the basis for the rule has to be, when we generally follow that rule, it would lead to greater good. So the only reason not truth matters. Utilitarians don't care about truth at all. But if we generally tell the truth, the world will be a better place than if we don't do that. Does that make sense? So that's the only. There's a good rule that says we should tell the truth, and that good rule would therefore be a reason why you cannot lie, because we should generally pick that rule as another one. Yeah.
So like, is the rules like already like somewhat established, or is it like you look at it like in your own interpretation? Like generally, like the consensus is I think that we think that like lying is bad, whereas like someone else might like look at it and be like lying may be good.
It's going to be pretty much a general consensus. Yeah. Okay, so does this make sense, right? Now, what might be a reason in favor of rule utilitarianism for why that'd be a good approach to utilitarianism? What's your ear?
I guess it allows you to make blanket statements for society to function.
For society to function? Why can't society function? We just each of us maximize the greatest good.
I feel like that kind of avoids like the infinite calculation argument, like that we will always be trying to calculate how much utility, so we'll never take action.
Well, why can't I just make probability judgments? But I know that it's going to take too long to implement calculus, so I do the best action I can from the perspective of math.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Okay, so that's not a good reason then.
Yeah, no.
No, let's try something else. Alright,
Just generally faster.
it's faster.
Yeah. Because like even if you have to like, if you establish certain rules of like lying whenever I'm faced with a situation with lying, then I can always like determine, well, I don't lie because like as a general rule.
Okay, but what if it's faster? What if it's faster?
It's like if it's a rule, we don't have to like think and like do an internal calculus.
And so thinking is bad, we should not think. What if I enjoy thinking?
Or you can enjoy thinking, but it just takes more time. So it's like faster.
But what if it's faster?
Why do you care it's faster?
Yeah.
Because like sometimes you have to like make quick decisions. So if you're basically like a,
So why can't that situation just make a really fast calculation?
it's like thinking more likely to get wrong.
Why is a fast calculation, knowing the line is generally a good thing, going to be worse than following the rule? I mean, think about all the reasons why following the rules is generally good. And that's pretty fast calculation. Yeah. And also the other problem, that would only prove that when I'm really time fast to follow the rules. It wouldn't prove general cognition.
It's kind of like the sock thing. So like, if you are trying to decide which socks to wear, and you are going through and you're like, okay, so these are really comfortable socks. These are great socks. And I'm going to have like, I could have a really bad day tomorrow, but I could also have a worse day today. So you have to decide which socks you want to wear. Well, you're going to have to keep on calculating like on and on, well, maybe
calculate trades off of being able to do things. Right? The more time I'm trying to spend deciding which food kitchen to volunteer at, the less time I'm volunteering at a food kitchen. Does that make sense? More importantly, right, calculating is itself a what? What does util evaluate?
Greater good for greater.
Well, that's how it evaluates it. But what are we saying? A good or bad action? Util evaluates actions, right? And so we say it's a good action if it, or by our calculation, leads to the greatest good. Make sense? What is calculating? Calculating is also an action, right? To calculate takes time, it takes resources. You have to do it, right? You have to spend time calculating. Make sense? Now, if it's an action, what do we have to do about it first?
Decide whether or not it's good enough.
Right. We need to spend time calculating how much time we should spend calculating. And we need to spend time calculating what the best way to calculate is. And we need to spend time, and we need some resources to calculate to figure out how to calculate. Does that make sense? Right? But each of those calculations are what? Actions, right? And so each of those actions need to what? Calculate it, right? So util, just on its own doesn't work, because you never take the first action of calculating, because that would all you had to do calculated, right? So you have to have some general systems of calculation that you don't figure out yourself, and guess what those are? The rules of society, right? Those have already been calculated for you, right, with general accuracy, to determine this is a good way to live in society. So given that the sort of calculation utilitarian wants doesn't work, because the calculation itself subject to utilitarian judgments, we're left with only a rule utilitarian approach, right, to decide what actions we should be taking. Make sense? This gets at what is a core concept about utilitarian deontology. Namely, that utilitarianism is not an ethical theory in the same way that deontology is. Okay? Deontology is an ethical theory, and that it tells you what actions you should take and which actions you shouldn't. Utilitarianism is not, because utilitarian does not say you should make each choice like utilitarian would. Because if you do that, it might actually lead to less good. Utilitarianism is not an action guiding theory, but instead an explanation of what actions are right and what actions are wrong retrospectively. Did it maximize good or not? But it doesn't say figure each of these things out via your own utilitarian calculations. No. Figure them out in whatever way of calculating will actually lead to the greatest good. And the method of calculating will lead to the greatest good is not you making your own calculations, but instead following systems and rules for the good of society. Does that make sense? So the way debate is run utilitarianism in debate often doesn't make sense. Because like, let's calculate what will lead to the greatest good. But the problem is utilitarianism doesn't say each action we should calculate leads to the greatest good. It says we should adopt a system of procedures which when followed will lead to the greatest good, but that may not be the act of the utilitarian. Suppose that deontologists just cause less harm than utilitarians did. This would be utilitarian and deontologists upon utilitarianism. What should it be?
It would be deontology, essentially.
Right.
It's following the rules of deontology if those preach utility.
Right. So, utilitarianism does not say, figure out what utilitarianism says. It says, do whatever system actually does promote utility. Not calculate for yourself which actions promote utility. Does that make sense? People, how that works? So utilitarianism is not a decision-making procedure, like some ethical theories are. Instead, it's just a theory of rightness and wrongness of actions, right? Which can then allow you to create certain social systems which might be better rules for society than others, but it's not a way of making direct utilitarian calculations. That's not the point. Everyone clear on that? Anyone confused about how that works, or why that is, or is not? That was the existential, yeah.
Like, just in that case, then, so util doesn't prescribe anything? It's just evaluating?
Right. Except it says that it will be good if you use a system that will promote the greatest good. Right.
Okay, so then we would look to other systems and calculate their utility then?
Right, so some sort of system of rules, right, which are going to be a good one. Should we follow the Constitution? Is that the best way to limit state power, right? Or should we do all this sort of other thing? You have to decide a system for calculation rather than just making the calculations for ourselves. Yeah.
So like, is there a place for like utilitarianism as like an overarching framework for like debate?
Sure, but then it should probably normally be framed at least in its best version as rule utilitarianism, right? And explain a particular way. Are you okay? You look very tired.
Yeah.
Did you?
My eyes are like really messed up in my car.
Got it. Right. So utilitarianism will say we need to create a system, but then you should have specific rules for why the resolution would follow the sort of rules that we want in society that was trying to maximize utility. Not because the individual actually maximize utility per se, but instead the decision procedure the utilitarian should use for these types of questions is one that would from the mediated resolution. Does that make sense? So, an example of this, right, might be that I would read utilitarianism on the app and then say, the best rules to follow for the utilitarian, right, is ones that decrease access to violence, right? Because yeah, you can definitely use violence to do some good in society, like I could kill a murderer or something. But in general, most people aren't going to be able to do that. And they're going to miscalculate and actually just like end up hurting themselves and things like that, right? And so what we should do is decrease access to guns, not because you can't use a gun to promote the greatest good, but just because it's very unlikely it will actually happen. And utilitarianism doesn't want us to be able to maximize utility in each instance, but instead to construct a society that will actually maximize utility, which will be done so we follow the rule of decrease access to violent means. Okay? Whenever we can, the state should decrease access to violent means, right? Because that is just a good way to structure society. Make sense? So we use a decision procedure in order to clarify how we would be able to, what actually most likely to create the greatest good, rather than calculating directly what the greatest good is actually going to be.
So like when running like a rule utilitarianism, is it just like a good idea to like say like I'm running or like present the fact that like you're not doing accurate with the rule?
Right, so say the value of consistency with rule utilitarianism, and then your contention should be like this, and this is why that's a good rule. Yeah.
Is there a situation that we could like apply this to as we did with like the train analogy?
Sure. Here's a good one. There are 4 patients in a hospital, each of whom need a different organ transplant. One needs a kidney, one needs a heart, one needs a lung, and one needs a liver. Okay? And no one's come in, right? These people are about to run out of time, right? They need a transplant. Now, interesting enough, they're all type A blood type. And the type A patient who happens to walk in is totally healthy. But check out. What would the active utilitarian say to do? Yeah.
Take the organs of the healthy type A.
Yeah. Kill them, harvest his organs, give them to the other 4. Right? What would the rule utilitarian say?
Don't like kill people and like use them like that. Yeah.
Right. Because if doctors consistently did that, would anyone ever go to the hospital? No. And would it be a worse world if no one went to the hospital?
Yes.
Yeah. Right? If no one ever check us, that'd be worse. Right? And so, if the doctors actually want to promote the greatest good, they can't individually decide, in this case, it wouldn't promote the greatest good. Right? Instead, they follow the rules of the Hippocratic Oath which say do no harm. Got it? Yeah.
What happens when 2 rules come into conflict, though?
Well, we have rules for that. Right? Like we think the more important rule, right? And we have different levels of importance, right? This is why when a law conflicts with the Constitution comes first, right? Or when you would have to lie to someone in order to stop from betraying them, you probably lie. Right? So, you know, we just have sort of implicit social dynamics and rules that prioritize these things in society. It won't always be easy, but since those situations are rare, you can spend some time calculating those contexts. Does that make sense? Good. This is a much more robust way to run utilitarianism because it avoids a lot of the common objections. So a lot of the common objections is like, you can't apply utilitarianism. Utilitarianism is like, right, but you're not supposed to. Right? Does that make sense? Good. Good. So that's activist rule utilitarianism versus deontology and the way these sort of ethical theories differ in their fundamental sort of system of reasoning. Okay? Now, in my advanced utilitarian lecture, we'll go into lots of individual arguments for these 2 theories, right? Arguments for why things like pleasure are more important than persons, or why persons are ends in themselves, things like that, right? But I just want to close, right, this lecture, right, with a brief discussion on. Wait. Sorry, I'm going to show you my lecture now. Oh, wait. We talked about some problematic ways people explain deontology, like the active-mission distinction, right? And we talked about one problematic way people try to explain utilitarianism, namely is this like theory that says calculate what's most greatest good. We talked about some reason why that doesn't really make sense, right? Yeah.
The act of permission distinction is
Active-mission?
Yeah, is that the same as the doctrine of allowing?
Doing and allowing?
Yeah, doing and allowing.
It's very similar. There might be some distance. It depends on who's defining them and how they do it.
But the doctrine of double effect is the same as
Intention foresight, yeah. And that's the much realer and more significant one philosophically. The other ones all kind of extinction kills everyone. Make sense? Alright. So let's say you defend that, and this was CS, and I ask you, so you say that we should maximize life, correct?
Right.
So does that mean that we should have as many children as possible? Like we have more obligation to just have as many children as physically possible?
No.
No. But wouldn't that maximize life?
Well,
Okay, so you don't want to maximize life, you want to minimize death, right?
yes.
Okay. Now, when you stop someone from dying, does that mean they're never going to die?
No.
So they're still going to die at some point, right?
Right.
And in between, they're actually going to have more kids, right? Possibly. They could.
Yes.
And those people will also die, right?
Yes.
So keeping that person alive now means more people will die, right?
Yes.
So if we're trying to minimize death, we need to kill everyone right away, right?
Yeah.
So to achieve the value criterion of maximizing life, we need to cause extinction as soon as possible, right?
Yes.
Okay. See what just happened? Right?
I just do.
What?
The best thing ever.
This is not uncommon, right? Yeah.
Okay, in the last time we talked about this, we talked about how like when we use maximizing and minimizing, we should stick to like kind of like abstract, like happiness or pleasure. Like what other things are also like minimizing and maximizing?
So this the problem with this, right, is when you say you're going to maximize life, it's really not clear what we're talking about, right? Because life is not the sort of thing that you want just a lot of, right? It's not like I want like just lots of people to be alive. Nor is that I want to minimize death. It doesn't mean anything, right? Instead, what we want is people to like live good lives. So I think the best way to articulate would be value between maximizing expected well-being, maximizing how well off, sort of quality of life people are going to have, right?
So maximizing or increasing quality of life versus maximizing.
You can maximize quality of life. That doesn't involve maximizing life. So do people see what went wrong in that CS? Right? How I was able to force her from saying we should maximize life to saying we should cause extinction? Right? Good. That's a useful way to think about these things, because it points out a flaw in how a lot of utilitarians approach these things. They have ideas that we should maximize, but they don't have a good account of what it is we should maximize. And they push like, no, we shouldn't have as many children as possible, and then it's not at all clear what they're actually doing. Right? So this is a common way utilitarianism is very misapplied, but you can take advantage of in a lot of situations and contexts. Make sense? Cool. Hey, yeah.
So then practically the qualifier that allows you to run a util framework essentially is just because you say expected well-being? That you don't have to prescribe people to have babies all the time?
No, the reason well-being works is because it's not talking about happiness. Oh, it's not talking about life, but like happiness.
Oh, okay.
Right? And so no one's like, okay, should we have more children so we have more expected well-being? It's just the well-being of people who are already alive. That's what matters. The well-being of more agents is what we're concerned about, not the well-being of what could be more agents.
Okay.
So what can we use as a distinction whenever like, looking at a criterion with like the word maximizing and minimizing? Like what is like a what is like a good distinction between like, what we should and shouldn't do?
With maximizing,
Yeah.
things is actually the sort of thing you want as much of as possible. Right? And they should you do anything that will bring about more of that thing? Anything probably not, then probably not such a good idea. Right? One last argument to think about with finding utilitarianism. We all here think pleasure is probably good, right? And pain is probably bad, right? We don't think that's universally true. Like the pain that caused me to grab my hand away from the stove, right, is a good sort of pain, right? And we almost even enjoy the sort of ache in your leg after a really long day hike, right? It's almost kind of a nice sort of pain, right? And there's certain pleasures we don't like as well, right? So like, if I were to come up to you like, hey, I've got this great video, it's gonna be so fun to watch, I'm gonna get so much pleasure out of it. And you're like, oh, what is it? And it's like, it's this guy who takes this squirrel, and he slowly gouges out the eyes of the squirrel and burns off its tongue as it writhes in agony, right? And then, yeah, no, it'd be awful, right? And you want to be like, oh, I'm so glad you get pleasure in that, right? I'm glad you can watch that pleasurably, right? Because pleasures are good, and it's better than watching it and cringing. No, when you watch that, you should cringe, right? Pleasure is inappropriate to take in that context. Does that make sense? Right? So I think you can use these things to pressure, like, is pleasure just the sort of thing we want to maximize? Now, it doesn't say you should take pleasure in watching that video, which you really shouldn't, right? We should take pleasure in things that are actually good. Pleasure is sort of right response to good things. And pain is a right response to bad things, like crushing your hand away. It would sorrow in your friend's death. Right? And more failure of sorts. Which is something that utilitarian is going to have a really hard time dealing with.
So what would you do? Would you make sure that, I mean, because you can't really like set a definition for punishment that would be subjective. So like,
Well, there you could probably say sort of rule utilitarian, which says we are going to have more pain in society if we think we take pleasure in watching pain in others. Right? That'd be a worse society or something. So you could probably use a rule utilitarian explanation to get out of it. But these are all just things to think about. I was just trying to